Welcome back to your channel Top 10 Matrix. Have you ever felt like reality just glitched? From mysterious time slips to impossible coincidences, today we're diving into 10 real-life glitches in the Matrix that will leave you questioning everything. Stick around until the end because number 1 is absolutely mind-blowing. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss our crazy videos. Now let's begin. Blast off. The phone call from the future in 1980, a man in Italy received a strange phone call. On the other end, someone who sounded exactly like him warned him about an upcoming accident. At first, he dismissed it as a prank until the accident actually happened exactly as described. Similar cases of future calls have been reported worldwide where people receive warnings or information about events that haven't yet occurred. Is it a rare case of precognition, a rip in time, or a technological anomaly we don't yet understand? 9. The airplane that took off and landed. 37 years later, in 1992, an old passenger plane allegedly appeared on the radar, requesting permission to land. The problem? The plane, Pan Am Flight 914, had been missing since 1955. Witnesses claim that when the plane landed, its passengers were still dressed in 1950s clothing, confused about the time and date. Before officials could investigate further, the plane took off again and vanished. While skeptics argue this story is an urban legend, no explanation has ever fully debunked the eerie details surrounding this mystery. 8. The woman who lived 2 lives at once. Can a person be in 2 places at the same time? In 1901, Anne Moberly and Eleanor Jourdain, 2 respected academics, claimed to have stepped into the past while visiting the Palace of Versailles. They described seeing 18th century figures, including Marie Antoinette, as if the past had momentarily overlapped with the present. What makes this even more bizarre is that their descriptions of the palace did not match its modern-day layout but were later confirmed to be historically accurate. Were they momentary time travelers, or was this a glitch in the very fabric of reality? 7. The man from Taured, a traveler from another dimension? In 1954, an ordinary-looking businessman arrived at Tokyo's Haneda airport, but something was very wrong. His passport was from a country that did not exist, Taured. The man confidently argued with immigration officers, showing official-looking documents, stamps, and even a bank account tied to his supposed homeland. Authorities, baffled, detained him overnight in a hotel under strict security. By morning, he had vanished, along with all his records. Was he a dimensional traveler, a government experiment gone wrong, or something even stranger? 6. The doppelganger encounters that left scientists speechless. Imagine walking down the street and suddenly coming face to face with yourself. Throughout history, there have been eerie cases of people encountering their exact doubles, known as doppelgangers. These aren't just mistaken identities. Some of these cases involve 2 identical people meeting, despite being from different time periods or locations, where such a coincidence should be statistically impossible. One of the most famous cases involved Émilie Saget, a 19th century school teacher whose ghostly double was seen by dozens of students and staff members, mimicking her every move in a phenomenon that has never been explained. 5. The man who attended his own funeral. In 1993, a Brazilian man named João Pereira dos Santos was declared dead after a car accident, and his family held a funeral for him. However, a few days later, João walked into his home, alive and well. He claimed he had been in the hospital recovering and had no idea his death had been announced. When authorities reopened his grave to identify the buried body, it had mysteriously disappeared. This case is considered one of the most bizarre return from the dead incidents ever recorded. 4. A floating city appears in the sky. In 2015, thousands of people in China reported seeing a gigantic city floating in the sky. Tall skyscrapers, streets, and even streetlights were clearly visible, yet they were not real. The city hovered for a few minutes before vanishing into thin air. Some speculated that this was a portal into another dimension, while others suggested it was an extreme case of Fata Morgana mirage. However, the most mind-boggling fact? The same city was seen in two different locations over 600 miles apart on the same day. No scientific explanation has fully accounted for this anomaly. 3. The woman who was seen in two places at the same time. In 1900, a French schoolteacher reported that her students had witnessed a duplicate version of her sitting in the classroom while she was outside in the courtyard. The students swore they saw their teacher in two places at once. The doppelganger sat motionless, staring at the wall, completely unresponsive. Some students even tried touching her, but their hands passed right through as if she were a ghost. This incident remains one of the most mysterious cases of bilocation or spectral twins ever recorded. 2. The man who came from a non-existent country. In 1954, a man was detained at Tokyo Airport because his passport was from a country that had never existed, Taured. He insisted that his country was located in Europe and even showed a map marking Taured's position. His documents appeared entirely legitimate, but authorities found no record of such a nation. Even stranger, after being held overnight in a secure room, he mysteriously vanished. There was no trace of him in security footage, as if he had never existed at all. 1. The airplane that landed in the future. In 1954, a Pan American Airways flight, Flight 904, took off from New York and mysteriously disappeared. The bizarre part, 37 years later, in 1991, the same aircraft landed in Venezuela. The passengers and crew believed it was still 1954. Their watches showed the original departure time and the plane was completely intact. This case is considered one of the strangest time glitches in history, and to this day, no scientific explanation has been found. And that wraps up another mind-blowing episode of real-life glitches. Which of these stories gave you chills? Do you think reality is glitching, or is there another explanation? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on more unbelievable mysteries. See you in the next one. Blast off